It's crazy to believe that it's been a month.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
That's wild. Like, obviously not since we talked, but since we recorded.
Mhm.
Sadly, the conditions have not changed a whole lot. The nights are cooler. It's cooler in general. The water feels pretty cool. There is that.
Mhm.
But the water is not getting any higher.
Definitely is not getting any higher.
No, no.
Long-term forecast looks good.
Yeah.
Um, like I think it's something that's been on everybody's mind is like the
Hmm.
low water. I did some digging. I got some
Yep.
notes here. I did
Okay.
homework.
Nice. Love
So
that.
it's like the rainfall this year for us has been, I mean, it's obviously on everybody's mind, but it's been
Yeah.
brutal.
Yeah.
So some quick numbers. So
Yeah.
Moncton, for the month of July only had 53 millimeters of rain. Month of
Hmm.
August only saw 22 millimeters of rain. So the total
Wow.
rainfall for Moncton, July and August was only 75 millimeters.
Yeah.
Fredericton, a little bit more, but not much. Fredericton had 78 millimeters in July and 13 millimeters in August. So they've had
Right.
91.4 millimeters.
Right.
That's for the July and August. I
Yeah.
had a like did a little tried my best to do some digging for some average rainfalls and
Yeah.
such, but my mic is freaking out today. Best I could do was like an average rainfall for Fredericton in July is usually between 119 and 121 millimeters.
Okay.
That's just for July.
Just for July. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
I was
that's
trying to do a bit of comparing as well. I wasn't as successful, so I'm glad that you've got some numbers.
yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that. And yeah,
Because I mean, September, especially like for my river for the Southwest, September can be a fairly low water period. But
yep.
even when it's because it's kind of that transition period, and then into October and late September, typically we get some more rain. But and I'll insert some pictures, but I finally feel good enough or felt good enough yesterday to make an attempt at fishing, and I went to a spot that there's like a pool there that always, holds a bit of water, and the river's completely choked. Like, even if salmon wanted to be there, they couldn't even really make it through the rocks. Or, I mean, they could, they'd probably, bang themselves up a bit, but like, it's abysmal how bad it is right now on the Southwest.
Yeah. It's I mean, I personally I haven't fished the Miramichi since sometime in July.
Yeah,
hmm Yep,
I
I've been out in the
know.
salt water a little bit actually.
Yeah,
I got out fishing with Mark, with Fly Fish NB there. We went to Kushabaquack, so that was kind of cool.
nice.
But even the water there was pretty warm. Like
Was it? Yeah.
we were just there Wednesday, so it was
Yep.
only a couple of days ago.
Yep.
And first thing I said to Mark is, "Yeah, it's cold in the morning." I got bit by mosquitoes for the first time in like a month. Uh,
Yeah.
but the water was warm enough, like close to shore. I could have wet waded.
Yeah. Okay. Did
Yeah,
you
I
guys
mean,
get
it's
any fish?
yeah, we got into a couple fish. Yeah, yeah.
Nice.
I got schooled by Mark. Mark
Oh
showed me
yeah.
home field advantage. That's what I call.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, one no, actually, I caught two new species. I caught an escargot snail.
Oh my
Like
God.
I had to take my forceps out and pull it out. It had it like stuck.
Wow.
I thought it was a hermit crab.
Yeah.
And then I caught an actual what are they called? Quahog. It's like a
Oh,
clam.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That's all I
Cool.
caught.
Yeah.
Mark caught two bass.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of like the tail end of that season. I think what's happening now is that you're starting to see some of the bass are coming back to the Miramichi. And some of the other bass like that have been around closer in the shorelines, I guess in
Hmm.
their summertime habits or their summertime feeding beds.
Yeah.
Seems as though the colder nights and the colder temperatures have started to shift things for them. It seems like they've kind of
Right.
started to migrate a little closer to home, if you will, or it seems
Yeah.
like a lot of bass are heading back towards maybe not there yet, but they're heading on their way towards their wintering grounds, if you will.
Right. And before we move too far off of it, what kind of flies was he successful with? And was he using floating line or sink tip or?
I think he was using a sink tip, and he made me fish clousers, and clousers worked there.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's just a
Gotcha.
long time running joke with me
Yeah.
in the fly tying community. I don't usually
Yeah.
tie clouser flies.
Okay.
Like I tie thousands of flies. Two
Yeah.
reasons. I haven't figured out a way to make my own dumbbell eyes yet.
Okay. Yeah.
cost effective. I just hate having to
Yeah.
order them. So I haven't
Yeah.
figured out how to make my own dumbbell eyes yet. It's not that hard. I just gotta make a mold and
Yeah,
figure out a
exactly.
material to
Yeah.
use and heat and source. Anyways, and then the other reason is primarily where I fish is above the Sunny Corner Bridge, and I don't keep fish
Same.
flies. Yeah,
Exactly.
so
Same here.
clousers dominate in those type of conditions
Oh,
because
cool.
like
Okay.
you've got that extra little weight, you know the fly is gonna drop down real quick, and then you can
Yep.
strip it, leave it for a second, it drops down, strip it quick, and like they have that extra weight. They cast real nice. They
Yeah.
get it over the surf. It's yeah, clousers dominate in that type of environment. So
Okay.
I was pulling out some clousers and some different stuff like that. Yeah.
My first year fishing Long Lake for lake trout, the Clouser was what got it done as well because it got it, that's a very deep lake, so it got it down there low. So yeah,
Oh,
interesting. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. Clousers have their place.
Yeah, clearly. No, they clearly do. So, well, that's good that you saw a couple of fish in the mix there at least.
Yeah, yeah. I think I brought us off topic.
No, no, not at all.
I'll be good.
Well,
I'll be great at bringing us off topic all the time, but I have notes so I can keep us back on topic.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you were kind of transitioning into talking about what striped bass are doing right now, which is a good avenue for us to transition into sort of talking about what they're going to be up to for the fall, if you like.
Yeah, well, we can touch on it. I think like kind of like the third segment, we'll get into the
Okay.
fall fishing because I still wanted to touch a little bit. There's some interesting stuff. So I
Yeah.
had something that I said I was going to do. I said I would get the information on the cold water closures, and I finally found it.
Yep.
I had to email some folks, and then I did
Okay.
find it on DFO's website. So
Okay.
cold water closures, and this pertains to like low water drought.
Yeah.
And then I want to just touch a little bit about the forest fires
Yeah.
and fall fishing, I guess.
For
That
sure. Sounds
makes
good.
sense for our listeners and our timeline. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So cold water closures on the Miramichi River. When the water is above 20 degrees, but no greater than 23 degrees or 23 degrees
Okay.
for 2 days,
Yeah.
cold water pools close.
Gotcha.
When the river exceeds 23 degrees for 2 days, 48 hours, morning only fishing or certain restrictions, extra restrictions apply. So it's 20
Gotcha.
degrees to 23. That's when they're looking to close the cold water pools. Anything
Right.
warmer than 23 degrees, they're going to look at cold water, morning only fishing.
Gotcha.
Okay, I had to get back to that.
No, that's good. That's
And
good
then
to
the
have that
reopening.
solid.
The reopening,
Yeah.
water needs to be below 20 degrees. It doesn't actually give us like a 2 days or it doesn't give us a
Okay.
time period because obviously there's a few different factors that can affect that.
Hmm.
Is the low water. So I mean, if it's high water and it's warm, you still have more oxygenated water. But if you have
Right.
low water in a drought that's warm, there's even less oxygen in it, so on and so forth. So they might wait longer. Like it might take longer for the river to recover, sort of deal. So that's why I don't think they put a timeline on the reopening, but has to stay below 20 degrees for it to reopen.
Right.
What was that? Yeah, and then I did a little bit more digging, I guess, on the cold water closures and what brought in that place for the cold
Oh,
water
okay.
pools.
Hmm.
I still disagree with it heavily, and I'd love to be involved in like a strategy meeting with DFO because I have some pretty good facts, and it's just something
Okay.
that not really willing to give up on, I guess, because listed are 32 cold water pools.
Hmm.
My ass, there's 32 cold water pools,
Oh, for sure. For sure.
right? So
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
they're only closing those 32 pools,
Right.
there needs to be a more accurate way. I mean, we have LiDAR data, so we know where the cold water is coming from.
Hmm.
They, if they want to continue that on, it needs to either affect all of the river, or it needs to just be more effective, or the morning only restrictions come into play.
Right.
So, and then because basically, so one of their reasoning is when water warms up, oxygen levels drop, fish are way more stressed, they stack into cold water refuges, um, yada yada yada. So the big thing is that there's less oxygen in the pools when the water's warm, when the water's cold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the cold water thing, but there's not just 32 pools on the entire Miramichi
Hmm.
watershed.
Hmm.
So that closure is I don't know. I don't know if I'd call it defunct, but it needs to be updated. It needs to be revisited, and it
Less
needs to be
effective than it might.
It needs to
be,
be made
maybe?
more effective. Yeah,
Okay.
more efficient.
Right.
Yep. That's my tidbit on that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean,
Yep.
it's kind of, especially again, when we're talking about salmon, we're talking about, of course, a catch and release only species. So
Mhm.
there's no option to, oh, okay, well, if I catch one, I'll for sure retain it. So,
Mhm.
obviously I get why you need to be extra careful with that.
Yeah, and I'll play devil's advocate on this
Yeah.
one a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Um, honestly, this was an unprecedented um, summer, if you
Right.
will, as far
Right.
as the conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, this is a river that if you really care about your salmons, or this is a year that if you really care about them, you
Mm-hmm.
really might want to think of just stepping away from those watersheds
Yeah.
completely. Like you
Yeah.
said, that
Sadly.
one pool you went to, it's choked.
Yeah.
It's hard for me. Like it's really hard for me.
Same. Same.
I got a chin up bar in the background that I'm doing chin ups on to make sure I stay motivated
Yeah.
and exercise because I just want to be in the rivers. It's not quite cold enough for me to be hunting yet. I'm not in
Yeah.
that hunting groove.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to be fly fishing for salmon in my pools, but I haven't been to my pools since late July.
Yeah. Same.
Yep. But the saltwater's there, the St. John, there's,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
on and so forth. There's lots of room. I mean, the folks that are really passionate about fly fishing, we will find a way. It might not be as much as we
Yeah.
want, but yeah. So I guess that would kind of tie us into a little bit. I wanted to touch on the wildfires because I did a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
digging on wildfires too.
Cool.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add? I think I
No,
covered.
this is the episode of Alex doing a whole lot of homework. I like this.
That's what happens when Alex has time in his hands.
Yeah. 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 No, go ahead.
All right, so low water and drought, they tie directly into something else that we've been dealing with, and that's going to be the New Brunswick wildfires.
Yeah. Which
So,
again, unprecedented in my memory
big
in the
time.
amount of fires we've had.
Last time, for my homework, last time we had a big issue with wildfires was in the 80s.
Wow. Okay. So
Yeah,
almost
so we've been
40
very
years.
lucky. Yeah, New Brunswick's been very lucky. So, as of August 10th, um, government of New Brunswick recorded 222 wildfires.
Wow.
Yeah. So as of right now, I think what would be September 14th,
Yep.
New Brunswick has a total burnage of 2,510 hectares, which is about 25 square kilometers.
Okay.
So yeah, it's really, I mean, we're a small province, so that's, those are some bigger fires for us.
Mm-hmm.
Nova Scotia, our neighbor, they're at, this is as of September, 32, was it 3,200 square, or no, 3,200 hectares burned. So they're at about 32 square kilometers.
Yep.
British Columbia, I hope everybody's sitting down because this
Yeah.
this sets the precedent, and this is where where they've had issues
Yeah.
for years coming. Hectares burned as of 2025 in September. Uh, 500,000, 563,890. Over
Okay.
5,600 square kilometers burned in BC.
Jeez, man.
Not brutal.
That doesn't
That's
even seem real.
that's longer stretched
Yeah.
across of New
Yeah.
Brunswick.
Wow. Wow.
Yep. Yep. Burned.
Yeah. So I wonder how that's going to impact shade and ground cover and all that sort of thing.
Well, basically it's just like wildfires don't just scorch the forests.
Yeah.
They hit the watersheds as well. So when a
Yeah.
riparian zone burns, you lose all that shade and you also lose bank stability.
I was going to say that's going to affect erosion if those roots aren't strong and in place around those
Yep.
riparian zones.
Yeah. So basically, in the long run, I mean, here we are with a really bad season. So what's that
Yep.
going to mean? It means warmer
Ooh,
water, more
yeah.
erosion, more
Yeah.
pressure on fishing habitats because the remote access isn't as remote when it's a clear cut that you can see the river in.
Right.
So it's New Brunswick's biggest wildfire I think that we had was the Miramichi one. The Mulch Pit's pretty big one, I thought, but the Beaver Lake stream one, that's a big one too.
Okay.
That one's honestly that on in my opinion, that one is probably going to affect our watersheds the most,
Hmm.
being the Miramichi River. So if you look on a map where that is,
Yep.
that's the North Branch, um, lower North Branch, a little southwest. is
Okay.
on the like I guess you would say the northwestern or no the eastern side of the ridge that fire is on, and then that
Okay.
other ridge to your east or to your west actually is something. I'm pronouncing it completely wrong. Man-Eater Mountain, some people know that's the ridge
Okay.
line the fire is on down to
Yeah.
Palisades Camp. So like the North Pole Stream.
Yeah.
So if you're at the Palisades Camp looking out on the river, you're straight across to the east. That's where the fire is, and
Oh
that
man.
ridge line is the next on the other side of that ridge is the lower North Branch, a little southwest. So you've got the headwaters for the North Pole Stream. You've got
Hmm.
the headwaters for the lower North Branch, but you also have the headwaters for some of the Nipisiguit.
Yeah, and that's super important habitat because it's remote. It's the like
And
the
it's a protected wildlife area. Like there's been no cutting in that valley for quite a few years. I don't
and
know,
they
a lot. It's
actually
been
get
protected since the
decent
90s.
and like they actually get decent amounts of salmon up in
Oh, they
those
do.
stretches.
Well, yeah, especially the Palisades.
Yeah.
And then the lower North Branch is mainly trout. Like
Oh, okay.
they say like I think it's like 90% of the sea trout population goes up the lower North Branch, a little
Oh wow.
southwest. So you have Escalapius Salmon Club. So a private
Oh,
salmon
okay.
club is the
Yep.
first one. Then you have the Adams Camp, which is a Crown Reserve, and then just
Right.
above the Adams Camp is actually a daily lease or a daily
Right.
Crown. It's just a
Okay.
campsite, and you go in there and fish. But
Yeah.
yeah, that whole valley, that whole watershed, all that,
Oh
that's all
wow.
protected. So they didn't you couldn't cut in there. They haven't cut in there for a long time.
Right, right.
So that's where that fire is. The beaver, check it out online there. That's where that one it says. I haven't checked on
Okay. Yeah, I
on
wasn't aware of
Filets,
that
but
one. So many to keep track of.
yeah, 222 of them apparently.
So now we're
There's
getting into fall fishing finally. Hopefully.
yay.
Hopefully.
There is hope
I
for
know,
sure.
I know. It's a good amount of rain that we're getting in like 10 days.
Mhm.
Uh, so
Fingers crossed.
you'll
So yeah,
probably gonna be want to be on the water end of September, right? That's I'm gonna try and
yeah.
organize something for then, I think for myself for sure.
I'm gonna try to get out. I mean, I'm just gonna keep an eye on the river, see what it does, but I'm kind of waiting till maybe the first week of October at this point.
Yeah, because it's the ground is so thirsty that
Mhm.
it's so much of it's just gonna get absorbed.
Yeah, and there's just a lot of people. I don't know if I'm gonna be up at the lodge for the moose hunt this year or not, but it's just a busy time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Everybody's in the woods. Everybody's around that last week of September.
Yeah, yeah, I do find it's a bit busy in the woods there, and maybe a good time to wear a little splash of orange.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people drive around to the Hollywood hunting scene. They're just driving around in clear cuts
Ah,
looking for a moose. So
yep,
I just stay out of the woods for that week if I'm not hunting, if I'm not
yeah.
guiding for it.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Yep. Unless anybody wants a moose puller or they need somebody to gut and butcher,
Yep.
give me a call.
Mm,
Other than
nice.
that, until I get my moose license, I'm not going to be out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, how many
So,
4 or 5 years running? Haven't gotten that.
oh, really? Yeah. Well, a lot of people wait a lot
Oh,
longer
I
than
know.
that,
It
so
takes a while.
it does. Yeah, it does seem to. So then, so let's talk about some fishing opportunities, assuming we do get some rain, et cetera, et cetera. We're getting into the striped salmon fall run in what would you say like a month, or when's a good time to start thinking about the fall run of striped did I say salmon? I meant striped bass, of
I
course.
was like,
Striped
gonna
salmon.
when are we targeting these striped
Yeah.
salmon?
Yeah.
It's all right. You're still sick. You're getting back to
Yes,
it.
I am. Yeah.
Yeah. So fall coming. Fall is magic in New Brunswick, if you will.
It is. It's beautiful.
Yep. The cold nights, finally get some rain, the rivers bounce back, the fish get a lot more active. For Atlantic salmon, this is actually usually the time when more fresh fish move in, and then
Hmm.
older ones start staging up to spawn. So the other kind of cool thing is there usually is actually a fall trout run. So
Hmm.
that could pick up again.
Hmm.
And trout, I mean, I know the season closes 2 days from now on the
Yeah.
15th. But I mean, the trout are beautiful in the fall when they have their
Hmm.
fall colors on and their spawning colors. And then obviously lots of people getting out to the estuaries. The striped backs are coming back closer into shore. You also get the chance at mackerel as well, so that's a lot more fun. So
That's cool.
yeah, you'll do pretty well targeting estuaries and even sometimes fishing from shore and banks and so on and so forth. If there's mackerel close into shore, they're usually a pretty active fish. You usually see quite a bit of surface action with the mackerel, so that could be pretty fun. And then what else I have? Oh, so in terms of flies in the fall, it's
Mm.
being versatile. So right towards the end of the fall, I did a little homework. Trout fishermen are going to appreciate me.
Hmm.
You might still see some hatches of blue-winged olives and midges, and then maybe the odd ant or beetle if it's warm.
Mm. Hmm.
So those flies will be effective. But this is my jam is once the rain hits and the rivers start to rise and the water is colder, the streamer game is on.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
streamer game where it's insert streamer. Do
Yeah.
do 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 do. Green slime streamer. That's been my
Yeah.
big one. I
That's
fish a lot of just like a little streamer flies like this. Just like a green slime. Or like the other one, like my favorite one probably is this purple and kind of pink.
okay. Yeah.
Just on like a number four streamer hook. And then I actually a lot of my fall flies like have that little bit of a tail on them. Mm, I do very well with those flies.
That's about the size you like to use.
Yeah, I go a little bigger sometimes. I've gone a little smaller. When the water's really, really low, they'll take like a little tiny tuff of marabou on like a number eight hook.
Right.
They'll take one of those too, but that's how I like to fish them. And those two flies that I showed you there, the marabous, they work really good for bass too. So
Yeah.
they're
Oh, yeah.
I tie some on a stainless steel hook so I can go down and fish for bass. And it's just one of those
Okay.
things. It's just confidence fly for me. And like for a lot of folks, I'm not the only one that uses American fly. That's for sure.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the green slime is probably my desert island fly. It's one of my favorite flies, hands down. Be a tough contender with a white and red fly though, but
Green slime's pretty tried, tested, and true for sure.
green slime's an awesome fly.
Hmm.
And that purple and pink marabou, that one's it's a darker fly, but it's still, bright enough. Yep, the purple marabou.
Marabou is such a great material to use because it gives so much action and it
Oh, it
weighs
does.
so little. It
Very, very,
sinks well.
very, very light. Yep.
Hmm.
And like I'm not sure now, some people they tie theirs in a little differently.
Okay.
The way I tie mine in is I actually tie like I pull back a little bit of the tip and then I tie in the tip, wrap it in kind of thing, and then I actually take the thicker part of the stem of that thing and I actually wrap my marabou around the hook.
Okay.
Some people just layer it on, put one feather, or some people actually just cut the tip of the feather off and just tie that in and leave it.
Yeah.
Great ways. If you wrap it around like a collar, you get that hollow effect. Um,
Ah.
so like
Uh-huh.
these right here, I've kind of got them, I always have them wet when I'm working on them, but there, it splays out a little bit more,
Yeah.
right? And it's full coverage of a fly as
It's
well.
a better profile.
It is, yeah. And
Yeah.
then I usually just toss in a little bit of an underbody on them. I mean, this is just like yarn from
Hmm.
Michael's, but yeah, it gives a little volume and then it just gives it something to sit on there and it just gives it that extra, yeah, shape consistency. These guys right here, articulated.
Oh,
So
yeah.
one, two, three. And I've been
That's a.
making all my own. I started doing it last year. Started making all my own hook shanks.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so like a pair of these pliers. They're expensive, but I finally bought a pair. These are a pair of
Oh.
jewelry pliers. They're called
Hmm.
loopers.
Hmm.
And so with that, where am I at? I have one here somewhere. I'm able to pick and choose and make all of my own hook shanks. So
Yeah,
like
looks
that's
fine. Let's do
yeah,
that. That's workable.
yep. So this guy right here, this is like 18 gauge wire,
Right.
but you're good with 18 gauge or where we at? This is just wire from the hardware store, stainless steel.
Yeah.
It's like $4 for a spool, but this is 16 gauge. This is what I would recommend using a little bit
For
better, but you
bass,
can get
especially.
Yeah, for bass especially, but you can get away with the 18 gauge. It's a little
Yeah,
thinner, and these are only like $4 each Canadian Tire. The pliers are stupidly expensive. Like they're
right.
like $44 plus tax at Michael's.
But then
Um,
once you've got them, you've got that's a good tool for your fly tying arsenal.
yeah, and so with those two spools right there, I mean, I've got over 200 feet of wire, and I mean, if you think about, I'm going to prepare for the boat show, I'm going to have flies for
Yeah,
clients, so on and so forth. I'll be tying a few hundred to thousand flies or so this summer or this winter and throughout the fall, and I can't buy those packages of hook shanks at
that's
five,
true.
ten bucks each.
That really affects your profit margins. Yeah, that's a good
Ma
one.
Massively. So
Yeah.
articulated flies is something I've been playing with a lot. I just haven't got
Mm-hmm.
into the mass kind of production of them.
Mm-hmm.
My single hook deceiver flies and stuff like that, I do very well with. I got that dialed. Articulated is something I've been playing with for the last couple of years, and I've produced some very big fish when just the regular flies weren't working with them. So
Yeah, yeah.
I'm going full into production mode. I'll have a lot of articulated flies tied for the boat
Okay.
show this year, and I'll be doing videos. And then I'll be teaching at the Dieppe Winter Classic with the Dieppe Fly Tying Club this
Oh,
year.
cool, cool.
So we'll do that. We have three tables where people can come and sit down, and we teach how to tie. Three different instructors. Be myself
Mm-hmm.
doing the saltwater table. Alan Kay is going to do trout, and then Mark LeBlanc is going to be doing salmon and hairwing and featherwing flies.
Nice, nice.
Yeah, so I'm going to teach the articulated flies at the classic, and yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do a presentation at the boat show this year. I've got most of my guest fly tires set up,
Mm-hmm.
working on the guest speakers. I've got a booth to set up and run, so I probably won't present, but
Yeah, it'd be a lot.
yeah, you're going to see a lot of stuff on articulated flies from me
I
this year.
I
Just a
really
warning,
like
folks.
I really like them for pickerel.
Yeah,
Articulated flies. They're great for pickerel.
well, they're just watching how you move them. Like I fished a lot in
Mm-hmm.
flat water, and if you're fishing out of a boat, like the way that you can really strip, or like if you strip and move your rod tip a little bit, the amount of action that you can
Oh
get out of
yeah.
those articulated
Mm-hmm.
flies, and it's just really cool because you're sitting there like, man, look at the action, how good, and then all of a sudden a fish comes up out of the dark. Whoa.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, articulated flies, not only they're fun to fish, they produce fish, but yeah, they look cool.
They do look cool. Yeah, they definitely catch the fisherman's eye as well.
And then I think that's the most important thing about fly fishing is looking cool.
Yeah, your confidence fly. A fly that you're gonna have confidence in and use
Yeah,
well.
I watched a video there
Mm-hmm.
on social media. I don't know if it's TikTok maybe, but a guide was talking, and I think he said there's three types of fishermen out there. He says, first off, there's the fisherman that I want to be, and that's the fisherman that shows up to the river with his rod and whatever god awful creation that he's made and tied,
Yeah,
and he says, and
yeah.
I know everything about the fish, and I'm going to cast out, and I'm going to catch the big ass fish with this
Yeah,
creation.
yeah.
But then very quickly that guy goes to, oh shit, this isn't working. So then you get into the type two fisherman, which is,
Uh-huh.
I just want to catch a fish.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then, you got that guy that just, I doesn't matter what fish I catch, I just want to catch a fish. I don't want to catch a lot of fish.
Mm-hmm.
So you have those confident flies, and then you get into the flies and the third type of fisherman, which is the lunker fisherman. He's, I don't care what fish I catch, I just want to catch the biggest fish.
Right, right.
And
Yeah.
that's the evolution of being a fly fisherman.
It
Three
is,
stages you
yeah.
can go through.
Yeah, that's
That
funny.
was a video I watched.
Yeah, I
I'm
like
pretty
that.
sure I'm recalling most of it. My storytelling
Yeah.
abilities are getting better, but that's pretty well the gist of it.
Well, that makes sense. Certainly I can identify with that. That makes sense to me. And I find
I'm usually
lately,
the first one, always. I'm like, yeah, I'm
yeah,
here. Yeah, the fish should be scared. Here comes my fly. And then like 10 minutes later, if it's not working, I'm like, fuck, I just want to catch a fish.
the
Come
truth,
on, just one fish. Come
yeah.
on.
I'm all three. I start as the first one,
Yep.
descend into number two,
Yep.
and then ideally I'm number three,
What
where
would you call that? Would you call it a would that be a paradox or
no. Well, I
no?
don't know what's a
What's
pair,
something that
but
runs in a circle? It's not an
oh,
evolution because we keep going back in circles.
well, I
It's a
mean a
revolution.
cycle, a circle.
It's the
I
fly
mean,
fishing revolution.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Revolution?
yeah, for sure.
I don't
Like,
know if I'm wording that right. You're smarter than I am with words. You're
well, I mean,
bail me out here.
a revolution is a circular, you know, movement. So in,
Yes, not
I
to be
like that.
confused with revelation. It's
Right,
revolution.
right, exactly. No, I think you're onto something, and certainly like
This was a video
myself.
online. I didn't invent that.
Yeah. Well, I find I identify with that though a lot, regardless of whether you how well you paraphrased it. But
Yep.
certainly, like in terms of being the third one, for me, that's using mouse patterns for trout,
Uh,
where like they don't catch the most fish generally, but
have I
they
drove you nuts with sending you mouse pattern? Every
no,
time I
no,
see a
no.
video, I'm like, oh, this one's
Yeah.
receiver. You gotta go tie this one.
No, it's
The
great
la
because
the last one I
uh,
th sent you, I thought was the coolest.
yeah, it was
With the
the
little glow. It would be illegal in New Brunswick to fish it because it's got a light
yeah.
on it.
Right, right. Yeah, and some of them they like to tie like big bits of foam in there and
Mhm.
then the but I find like deer hair is so buoyant
It
that
is.
I don't find I need foam at all. But what I've started doing is I'll do big foam ears. I cut the foam into ear shapes
Mhm.
and then what that does is when I'm popping and, gyrating the fly on the water, it causes the water to, kind of spray up over it and really adds to that action and it prevents it from getting waterlogged a little bit because a lot of that water is just hitting the foam and going off of it. But yeah, like in terms of people, sending videos, a couple buddies of mine that I've started fishing with a lot this year, I really got them turned on to mouse flies and I've given them some. And then now every time they go out, they'll send me pictures of, their catches with the mice. So that nothing makes me happier than that. So
I saw it's funny, honestly, I swear it's because our cell phones listen. That's why. Like you and I
yeah.
talk about mice patterns, and all of a sudden I start seeing mouse pattern tying
Uh-huh.
videos showing up on my feeds.
Yeah.
Um, what was it? God damn it, I lost my train. I had a point I was gonna say.
Choo choo.
There's something about the mouse pattern. It'll drop back to me. I got excited and
I'm
I lost my point.
I'm trying to focus my mental energy and channel it to you, but
Yo, there was a point I was gonna say, but I lost it. It
uh
happens.
so yeah, so we were talking about different types of fishermen.
Yep.
Yeah, mouse flies. I mean, we weren't
Oh,
on.
there it
Yep.
is. That's my point.
Yes,
Sorry. Sorry. Okay,
we
your
got
mouse
there. We did
patterns.
it. Yeah.
When you tie your tail,
Yeah.
you're using rabbit strip.
Correct.
I saw a really cool video where the
Yeah.
guy took, so how do you tie yours in? I should ask first. Maybe you do it the same way as the video. So you just tie it
Well,
in and then do you leave all the material on like the strip of rabbit strip that you use for the tail?
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I don't trim it off.
Yeah, so he trimmed off three
Oh,
quarters
okay.
of it and then just left it.
Ah,
And then it looked, and I was like looking at him like that looks like a mouse tail. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they're long and
ah.
skinny and they'll have that little tuft at the end.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
thought that was cool, just a little different profile.
yeah. I could see that. I could see that being good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my point. I haven't tried them tying them yet. I'm gonna start tying some, but I'm just gonna give them to you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I love tying them. Actually, I taught at the Salmon Museum this summer.
Oh, cool.
I taught a class of kiddos how to tie some mouse flies.
Nice. That's
Yeah,
fun.
it was pretty fun. That's a fly I mean, I kind of developed my own little sort of pattern, so
Mhm.
it's something that I feel comfortable teaching others, but it was quite an interesting experience teaching a classroom of kids. I have a lot of respect for teachers after that experience, for sure.
Yes.
Just trying to get them interested and focused in was a job unto itself. But I was surprised a lot of decent looking flies came out as a result. And by far the the girls in the class were the best. They were the most focused. They tied the cleanest flies. So
Makes sense. They're better
yeah,
listeners.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And I think of like Claudine and Cassie and a lot of the female fly fishers I know, they are, they're great at tying. That's one area that they, excel in. And so, anyways, I thought that was kind of funny.
That's cool.
Yeah, so that's and I mean hopefully I mean, mouse season's pretty much done, unfortunately. Certainly, at this point, any trout being caught is a bycatch. It's not an intentional thing. I really feel strongly that a mouse fly could catch a salmon. in a scenario where they would take a bomber, I don't see why they wouldn't take a mouse, but I've
Mhm.
yet to prove that theory to be correct.
Um, I fished Corryville in the later half of
Uh-huh.
the season of
Uh-huh.
October,
Hmm.
and when the salmon, and I have caught a salmon that I would consider to be a Celt in the fall.
Right. Okay.
It was slinky, it had spawned out, and it was
Interesting.
dropping back, and it was
Yeah.
taking a bass fly.
Okay.
So at that point, it's feeding again. It's
Yeah.
falling, it's right, and it's dropping back. So mouse pattern
Yeah.
might work still. They might take it on that habit, like out of an actual feed. They see something out there.
Yeah. And
But
I
I'll
mean, if, a Carter's bug is a super successful salmon fly,
very,
then
yep,
I mean, the mouse that I tie, it's pretty much a Carter's bug with a tail,
yep, makes
really, if
sense.
you boil it down. So is the salmon gonna see the tail and say, no, thank you, anything but that? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I've
Look at
yet
most of
it,
the fall patterns too, right?
yeah,
A lot of
exactly.
fall patterns like cascades,
Yeah.
alley shrimps. I
Hmm.
mean, even like what am I thinking? The GP, general practitioner.
Hmm.
They've got fairly long tails on those.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so that's good stuff. We're excited about that. And okay, and I had asked you, I when I flubbed my words and said striped salmon, we sort of talked about salmon for a bit. So then on to the striped bass. What is the kind of time of year where you're really dialed back into those striped bass, specifically like on a river like the Southwest?
End of September into October.
Okay.
Yep, yep.
And what's like the occurrence? What needs to happen in nature to where it clicks in your mind, okay, it's bass time. Like, is it the temperature going down, more water, a little bit of both?
Nope, neither.
Oh.
The amount of sunlight left in the day.
Ah, okay.
That's kind of my theory on it.
Okay.
I watch a lot of wildlife, moose, bears, deer,
Yeah.
and for a long time in the summer, they just kind of chill out and they don't really move around. And all of a sudden, when the days start getting shorter and the nights start getting a
Ah,
little colder, just seems to trigger a big migration move for all the animals.
okay.
That's usually my big indicator, when you're getting like dark at 7:30, stuff like that. That's when, the last 3 hours of the night get real good. It's
Yeah.
almost like it's like an antsiness. The bass know like winter is coming. Everything around can
Uh,
change, but no matter what, the hours of sunlight, that's always consistent year to year. They might have low water, they might have high
that's a
water, it
good
might be
point.
cold,
That's a
might be
good point.
warm.
That's a really
Yeah,
good
it's just
point.
something I've kind of noticed. Some older folks that are their hunting guides have pointed that out to me, and then I've kind of clued into it, and it makes sense big time. The wildlife, particularly, you'll notice a lot more active movement and wildlife, big game animals when there's less hours of daylight. They know winter's
Oh,
coming.
okay. That makes sense. That makes sense.
That's
They're
my big
internal.
indicator. Without giving people
Yeah.
dates, because I still got a guide. Yeah. Anybody who's interested, like I said, if you're interested in the fall
Yeah.
fishery, if you're interested in getting out, New Brunswickers, folks that aren't from around, and you want to learn the fishery from a guide, from somebody who's experienced, me and Steve are both, shoot us a message, anything like that, or I'm available as a guide. You can pay me.
I was gonna say, shoot me a message if you want to talk. Shoot Alex a message if you actually want to be guided onto some fish. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and
great.
I always add too to folks. This touches. I talked about this on maybe episode 3.
Yeah.
Me being a proponent of a recreational fishery. This is
Hmm.
a proponent of a recreational fishery that I encourage people to keep one or two fish.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'll teach you how to fillet those fish. I'll
Yeah.
show you the correct way to do it. You're gonna have to go home with all of your fish not intact, but we can fillet it right there. And you can go home with your carcass and your fillet, and then after that, you're doing your thing with it. But there's a lot more to this fishery, especially if folks are interested in that. It's just like the bears, the moose, and everything. Winter's coming, man. We gotta fatten up. We
Yeah.
need to put some meat in the freezer, save a little bit
Yeah.
of money, but learn how to respectively harvest your fish. I guess I'm
Hmm.
a big proponent of that. One of the other guides that I work with, I got him, his 4 bass for him, and then another 4 bass for his wife in the fall there, and they had a
Hmm.
good supply. He just finished off his fall bass,
Yeah.
and he's a big foodie. He's
Yeah.
swearing up and down that the fall bass tastes way better than the spring bass.
I'd love to
I
test that theory.
I don't know. I'm just really particular with how I harvest bass, even in the spring,
Yeah.
I immediately bleed my fish out, and then
Same.
they're on ice or they're in water.
I
And
feel
then
like,
same thing with the
yeah,
fall.
I feel like that's going to be tough because for me, like my spring caught striped bass was pretty near like a perfect fish. Like
Mhm.
the taste, the texture,
They really
everything
are. Like
about it.
I
Yeah.
think it's bleeding the fish out. It's bleeding the
I
fish
think so
out,
too.
getting that blood out of there, and then it's just a cleaner fish, and then just keeping it cold. If it's
Yeah.
warm, it spoils. Any meat will, and it can spoil in 20 minutes, half an hour,
Yeah.
45 minutes. But if it stays cold, then yeah, you got it good. And then with how we clean the fish at the lodge, or how I would do it,
Hmm.
is I just have a nice clean station. So when
Yeah.
I do my fillets, I wash them all out, and this is a tip when you're taking your fillets and putting them into a freezer bag and freezing, put like a little bit of water in there, not a lot, but put a little bit of water
Say
so
yes.
so that when you go to take that bag out, you can actually just take like one piece, two piece. They're not all stuck and frozen together. The water will help separate them
Yeah.
a little bit for you. That's a little
Yeah,
tip.
and I find too when you freeze your fish submerged in water, when you thaw that fish, like
Mhm.
because the water's covering it, there's no individual areas getting freezer burnt.
Ah,
The
okay. That helps.
flavor of it is really consistent.
Oh,
And
good.
and just again in terms of, you were saying you were talking about the sport or the person you knew that had retained four and then four. Like same with me. I retained four, kept them in my freezer, did a massive fish fry with them, then got another four, saved that in my freezer, for a month or so, did another massive fish fry. Like the amount of meat you can get off a limit of striped bass,
Yep.
it's amazing. You can get so much meat.
And
And
I'm gonna
yeah.
make an enemy here, but anybody who says that the bottom size minimum slot limit bass, there's barely any meat on it.
Mhm.
Bullshit.
Oh no,
You
they're
could give
so.
me a 15-inch striped bass and I'll get you, you're gonna be able to get something that's gonna fill you up for lunch. I
Oh
guarantee you.
yeah.
They're
Oh
if you
yeah.
know how to fillet them properly, it's not hard.
Yeah.
They are a tough fish. They're like you fillet two or three fish and your knife is probably gonna get dull because their skin and like
Yeah.
the exoskeleton has a very hard skin, hard scales.
I have a
But
really good tip.
man, there's yep.
I have a really good tip for filleting striped bass. Anyone that's just getting into filleting striped bass, obviously a nice sharp fillet knife, number one. Number two, best thing you can get in the mix there is get one of those gloves that you use for whittling that is like steel reinforced or whatever.
Oh, like a Kevlar
Those
glove?
things are so good. What?
Like a Kevlar glove?
Well, I actually don't know what material it is. It's some kind of a metal
Okay.
covering, but anything that's designed for use around knives so that you don't, basically a cut-proof glove or something like that. But like, I feel like if I Google, yeah, just Google whittling glove
Yeah, it's just
and
like Kevlar.
yeah, those, you can grab on the tail of the fish and you can hold that fish down so well with it. It grips amazingly, and you can really comfortably make precision cuts around it and know that if you touch your hand, you're fine.
Hmm.
That was a game changer, man. I did my first four fish of the season. I didn't have it. And then it just so happened that my mom had bought me a whittling kit for some kind of gift or something. And so I had that glove out and I went to do it and I was like, there has to be a better way. And I tried that on my non-dominant hand to hold the fish.
Mhm.
Oh my God, man, what a difference. Yeah, really, and I like because when I clean a fish, I go right for the boneless, skinless fillet it right out, get nice chunky fillets in the mix. And yeah, like going back to what you said about a minimum slot size fish not having enough meat, I've retained and cooked a limit of regular bass, of smallmouth bass. And even those, 3 pound smallmouth, you get four of those. You've got enough for a meal for a few people or whatever the limit was at the time. Like
Yep.
you can get a decent meal out of those bass.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think everybody's got like their own little hacks and tricks and how
Hmm.
they like to fillet those. Bass is, yeah, I've done a lot of
Yeah,
them.
exactly. And I mean, I think that's,
Having a glove on helps big time, just
yeah,
so you can keep a hold on the fish.
yeah,
Another
it's
big thing
huge.
is those fillet boards. It's got
Oh,
the
yeah.
little, it's got the
Yeah.
clamp on it, so you clamp the tail.
Okay.
And yeah, a couple other tricks too, just for like taking the skin off on your fillets and stuff like that. There's
Yeah, like for example, always do like when you fillet off one half of the fish, don't remove that half, flip it, cut the other half because you want it to stay even and balanced on your cutting board the whole time. So if you do that, then cut them both off once you're ready for that point. That makes a huge difference as well. But yeah, definitely not, and bleeding them right away. I've always done that. And one thing I started doing is just taking a stick and putting the fish through their gills through the stick and then sticking the stick underwater so that all four fish are in the cold water the whole time for
yep,
that spring run of striped bass. And like, I put them in a cooler obviously on my way home, but on by the time I'm home, those fish are still in great shape, and then I fillet them up, and they're all good. And sometimes I'll just, if I'm really exhausted, I'll just stick them in my sink with a ton of ice and just let them chill there for a little bit. Do you ever do
yep.
that and then go and have a beer or something and then get back to them once you're rested up a bit?
Not really. I'm a barbarian.
What do you mean?
When I come up with fish, I don't know, like I usually
You
with clients, right? Like
you just can't wait to tear them apart.
no, not really. I just have a process. It's just all part of my work
Yeah.
job. Like if you saw
Yeah.
me fillet fish, I'd have like one bass is done in a
Mm-hmm.
minute.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just quick and I got my knife I use. I actually use two knives. I usually use a paring
Okay.
knife, just to start it off, and then I grab my big
Yeah.
fillet knife and yeah. I just walk through, flop them down on the table, get them all clean. I cut my fillets, I bag it, I clean it, I make sure I wash everything really nice,
Mm-hmm.
and then it all goes into a separate bag. I use gloves, not just for like because they do have pointy, their, what's it called? Their fins are
Yeah,
pointy,
oh
their
yeah. Mm-hmm.
dorsal fin. And sanitary wise, it's good to have gloves on,
Yeah, it is. And
handling
even
people's fish. But I've just done a
yeah.
lot. Like I don't know if you could challenge me. I'd love this. I don't
Oh,
know if we
that's
should do it at the
fun.
boat show.
That's fun.
I'd love to see guide games. We did this in
Yeah,
college. We
that's a
did it in
fun
college.
idea.
Yeah, like we did like a throw bag throwing contest and
Yeah.
like repacking your throw bag, who could get their life jacket on the quickest, who could get it off the quickest, like all these different things. I'd love to see a guide game. Like there's moose calling competitions and stuff. I'd love to see guide games.
That'd
I
be
bet
really
you
fun.
I
Yeah.
could average one bass per minute.
I wouldn't
And
even
there's guys
attempt to
that
say that I could do
there's
that, but
one other guy at the Oxbow that I work with that could probably rival me on that, and that's
yeah.
Brett. When I wanted to learn how to fillet bass, I was watching all the other guys, and I was like,
Uh
okay, everybody's going. I was like, I just watch Brett. Brett just, like I've seen him do it on the side of the boat table. I've seen him do it on the side of the truck. It's just wherever he's just got this process, and it's just beautiful, clean fillets every time.
I take
And
my time.
it just comes from
Yeah.
repetition,
Yeah,
right?
true, true.
And with us, when we're guiding, we're charging people for an 8 hour day, but
That's right. That's right.
you want to keep four fish for the client, okay, or you got two clients with you, that's eight fish that you got to
Yeah.
fillet. You gotta you want to give them their 8 hours, but
Sure.
you're still on the clock to fillet their fish. So
Right, right.
yeah, I could do about eight fish in 10 minutes, no
Oh
problem
my
at all.
God. Four fish for me takes about an hour and a half.
Oh
It
God,
takes a
yeah.
while. But I sit there, I get a beer, I put on a podcast. I really take my time with it. Like I really like
Well,
I
this
light
is good. This is good. This is
I
good.
light some
Because
candles. I
I
put
was gonna
on some
say,
Enya.
do you get the bubble bath
Yeah,
going?
yeah, get the
Are
bubble
you
bath
in the bath
going.
with this fish? Like this is, I don't know.
Yeah, sprinkle
YouTube's gonna cut us off
roses.
right now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I know, I
You
know.
get the difference in like the how a guide plays and then how
Yeah.
Seabird. No,
I wonder if I end up getting that much more, if I end up getting that much more meat or anything like that. But I don't attempt to do it fast. I
no,
just
no.
kind of take my time with it. But again, completely different scenarios,
You
obviously, me
gotta.
and you.
I mean, at this point, I would honestly say when it comes to that striped bass fishery, for those
Yeah.
6 weeks that I'm guiding on the Merry Machine with the
Uh-huh.
Oxbow, I'm a commercial bass fisherman.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Just off the sheer volume of fish that
yeah,
like there's days when I just sit in the back like we fish in the right limits and stuff so I can put
yeah.
two clients in a boat and I'm sitting there like one's got a fish on it's always double hookups. It's
Hmm.
like that for like
Oh yeah,
8 hours straight like I'm
yeah.
not exaggerating, my arms hurt from lifting up the net.
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah. I mean, if
And then
mine, yeah,
so many fish.
yeah, yeah. I know. What
So you
a
get the
problem to
commercial
have.
side of it and then we have the
Yeah,
recreational side of it.
yeah, exactly.
Uh,
Good thing we had such a good season this spring. I mean, the
oh,
striped
except
bass
for it.
is always good, but
And I'm still very hopeful for the fall.
yeah,
We're gonna have a good fall fishery. I mean, we had that really just nobody expected to see this run of salmon that we got. So I am still quite optimistic that if the water is favorable, we'll see a good fall run of salmon.
I'm hoping to be hopeful, but I went out yesterday and it made me quite sad, quite
There's no,
depressed.
yeah, like those fish are gonna start to come up, but you know just as well as I do that there's spawnable water down in Blackville. It's the beauty of the Miramichi
Yeah.
River. Like
Yeah.
even where we fish for bass in the springtime,
Hmm.
from that bridge down to the Sunny Corner Bridge,
Hmm.
there is so much spawnable gravel there.
Yeah.
It's and,
Hmm.
and it's not a big outflow in the springtime. Like there's no reason why there couldn't be salmon spawning there. And they'll salmon are by nature they're an exploratory fish. So
Hmm.
if you look through course of history, how is a salmon river that never had salmon in it all of a sudden get a salmon population? A neighboring
Hmm.
river beside
Yeah.
it had a very
Yeah.
healthy population. A couple salmon got there and went, this isn't right. And they
Yeah.
went and found a different spot. They got the spot. I don't know if they knew it or right or not. And they go, oh, this is great. Let's spawn here. And there starts that. So who knows? I just know that with what we saw in July, the beginning of July and June for that run of salmon and that number of grills, it should depict that you should see the same thing in the fall. You
Mm.
should.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, maybe the move is
Might be
just,
wrong. Might be wrong.
yeah. Well, and I think too, part of it is where I'm very much in what's considered the kind of upper part of the Miramichi.
The
Maybe,
center of the universe.
yeah, the move is probably the lower. Yeah, exactly. The move
That's a
is
Mary
probably,
Machine. That's a Mary Machine joke, actually.
oh, is it?
Folks down in the Mary Machine. That's it. Yep. Doketown. Oh, you're in Boys Town, but
Yeah.
Doketown. Oh yeah, you mean the center of the universe? Yeah, Doketown.
Well, and I mean, it is like the
I'm just
geographical
joking.
center of the province as well.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
might be part of it. But yeah, I think
Could be.
if I'm gonna be serious about getting into some salmon in the fall, probably going into the lower river in the Blackville area
Mhm.
is probably a decent place to hunt for them, I would think.
Yeah, there's some nice pools there too.
Hmm.
We've
Just
got
deeper
stop sign.
water.
Yeah, we got stop sign pool.
Hmm.
O'Donnell Brook, just a
Hmm.
cold water pool, but just above it, stop sign pool or
Yeah.
government pool, I think it was called.
Hmm.
That's all public up in there.
Yeah. I've seen a
Yep.
couple people, or specifically Brad Burns, showing some fish caught in the lower canes, which makes sense. Again,
Yep.
lower part of the river, more water, closer to the tide, etc.
Yeah, Brad's got water on the canes as well.
Hmm.
Like I think some of his pools are a little bit lower. I know he's got some that are
Nice.
higher up, but
Yeah.
some of them.
Yeah.
And then there are some spots like Country Haven there. He's got some quite a
Yeah.
few
Yeah.
pools. He's
Hmm.
fairly lower in the system.
Yes,
Uh,
exactly.
there is a stretch of public water there.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put the name out because the locals will
Hmm.
shoot me.
Hmm.
But yeah, everything's online and folks
Hmm.
knowing to fish their areas. But yeah, it's most likely the fishing's just if we don't get the water, the fishing isn't going to be good high up. So those
Yeah.
people are going to just naturally congregate downstream,
Oh
downriver,
yeah.
those pools, so on and so forth. And that history will repeat itself because this is not the first time we've ever had low water in the fall.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. And again, like I mentioned earlier, and I did attempt to use the water level graph to do some kind of a historical analysis, but I could only go back so far as 2020 in whatever part of the tool I was using. And it definitely
Was it on
did
the
show.
federal site?
Yeah, yeah, it was. And it definitely did show that September, this time of September is a low water period a lot of the times. I just
Hmm.
don't think it's usually as low as it is right now.
No, this is a record lows, I think,
Hmm.
this year. Like there's some pictures coming in from the North Branch Renews. Somebody was out on a tour there. That river's really bad.
Yeah, I
That
saw a
now
picture.
I do know a little bit of information. That's
Yeah.
just like a little side jaunt for me.
Mm.
We always get extra filler, I guess.
Yeah.
The North Branch Renews River is geologically probably one of the newest rivers on the entire Miramichi watershed.
Oh, interesting.
And what I mean by that is the South Branch of the Renews River is older in the sense that it was there before the last ice age.
Okay.
And the North Branch Renews River is theorized, and I say theorized because
Yeah.
this is stuff that I read that was publications in the 1930s.
Okay.
William Francis Ganal theorized that the North Branch Renews Lake, so the North Renews Lake is just actually the North, it's just the Renews Lake. That, if you look at that, I'm gonna hold my, this is the lake,
Yeah.
and if you look at it up, the North Branch Renews starts down here, but right here is an inlet. And so, geographically, most lakes, its in is up at the top and its
Yeah.
out is down at the bottom, right? So
Right.
for a lake to have an inlet here and then an outlet right there. So the North Branch Renews was theorized that it wasn't actually much of a river as far as salmon goes. It wasn't until the recession of the last ice age, which would have been the Wisconsin Glacier or something like
Hmm.
that. As it receded, the North Branch Renews Lake was actually acting like a dam reservoir, like a
Okay.
glacial dam. And then
Gotcha.
basically it overflowed on that corner,
Yeah.
created a glacial fed river, and then flowed out down through. But if you look at the geography of the North Branch Renews and the South Branch Renews, they're so completely different. You can actually kind of see how that theory was developed. And
I see. Interesting.
I'm using the word theory
Yes,
heavily here
yes. Yeah.
because Alex Schwartman is not a
And
geologist.
neither was Ganong, I don't think,
I
was
can
he?
read.
Was Ganong a geologist?
Ganal was a botanist by trade. He was
Okay,
a
okay.
university professor. Ganal was he's in the New Brunswick Historical Society.
Yeah.
He was professional. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah, no, and maybe we
But some
can,
of his theories
yeah.
were bunked because he was using instruments and information from, 1890 is when he started his explorations in New Brunswick. And like by 1930, he was pretty well done. But that's,
Hmm.
that's the instruments he had at those times. So he figured out, Mount Carlton was the highest peak in all of New Brunswick.
Oh,
He
cool.
figured out the depths of the deepest lakes in all of New Brunswick. He
Hmm.
also did most of the original maps and the cartography for
That's pretty
all of
cool.
New Brunswick. Yeah. William Francis Ganal. He is
Hmm.
like, out of all the New Brunswick's pioneers, he's my favorite.
Oh, cool.
I use the word favorite a lot, but
Yeah.
he's top notch. I mean, just hearing the stories of the people that he brought with him on the escapades,
Yeah.
like he would just like he'd hike for 2 days to get to the bottom of Bald Mountain, and the guy he was with was like we went through like a week to get there or whatever through the bush. We get up to base camp of the bottom of Bald Mountain, and Gunal looks up and says, "I'm going to the summit," and walks away from camp,
Mm.
just straight up to the top, like just
Wow.
yep. Didn't want to sit, and when he saw people in the bush, he was like a little put off. He didn't want to see people.
Hmm.
He wanted
Hmm.
to be remote, and that's yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
very
that's
cool
cool.
book. Yeah, there's a book
I
I
was
have it
gonna
here
say I'd like
somewhere.
to read, I'd like
Where is it?
to,
Is it here downstairs? Maybe upstairs. It's called Exploring New Brunswick's or Exploring Lost New Brunswick or Exploring New Brunswick's Lost Wilderness.
oh,
I think
that's
that's
cool. I gotta
yep.
check that out.
Yeah, it's about his journeys and all his stuff, and then it's Eric. Oh, I can't remember
Is
Eric, the
it The
guy's.
Lost Wilderness Rediscovering W.F. Ganong's New Brunswick?
Yep. The guy who wrote the book basically retraced Ganal's steps and went back to
Cool.
some of the same spots. So Ganal
Yeah.
was also a photographer.
Yeah.
He took photos in the same spot that Ganal took them in like 1920 or 1907. He went back like 100 years later to the same spot and took a new picture of that spot.
I gotta check that
That's,
out.
yeah, again, here I am using favorite, but that's my favorite New Brunswick book too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a very cool guy. Yeah, he's a professor down in the Carolinas, Carolina University. Yeah, botanist by trait,
Nice.
but and good geologist, historian, anthropologist.
I'll have to check that out. Well, thanks
Mhm.
for all that. Thanks for all those tidbits. Somehow an hour has flown by.
Oh,
Um,
that was quick.
I feel like we pretty much covered what we wanted to today. I had one more thing, and maybe it's something that we can end on that we
Mhm.
could think about and come back to, is that what can we do? Like, I believe global warming is a factor, and scientists tend to agree. So, with that considered, what can we do to mitigate that scenario? That, that's the way it is. Water's getting warmer. It's not going the other way. What human engineered tools or techniques can we bring into play to help reverse the effects of global warming or warm temperatures or whatever you want to call it? Is there anything? Can we just sort of take these supplies of water, of cold water, and pump it into the rivers? You know?
An option. There's been research done on it.
Yeah,
I had a joke to make. One thing you
yeah,
shouldn't do is support organizations that fly around in fancy helicopters to do
yeah.
salmon research.
That's interesting. Yeah,
I would say, honestly, there's a lot of different ways to look at this.
yeah.
If you want to help your watershed in this kind of
Mm.
area, you have to get involved on the most
Boots
basic
on the
level.
ground. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where my advice comes from. Um, I don't see how flying across the world and having all these executive meetings and the carbon footprint created by some organizations to fly around the world and using jet fuel, using helicopters to fly over
Hmm.
aquaculture. I'm not using names here.
Yeah.
Don't want to call anybody out. But what's the offset for that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, let's
Right?
use like
Where's
so.
where's my money go on that, right? So I
Yeah.
know that if I go and give a little bit of money to the local watershed, they're going to be using their trucks to drive around, so on and so
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
So we don't always have so much money. We only have so much time. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't
I
know.
wonder. I wonder if some sort of technique of, locating groundwater and having some kind of a pump system to help rivers along where you're, you know, setting up extra pumps to get cold,
The
what would,
technology like that is there.
yeah. Yeah.
I just don't know how you would go about putting in the infrastructure so to support it.
It'd be expensive, I'm sure.
It'd be expensive. You need the manpower for it. I
Yeah.
mean, economically, yeah, sure, it makes sense, but what's the
Mm.
outfall for it? Is this something they're going to do so that a bunch of salmon, a couple salmon lodges can have a recreational fishery, or is this something that protecting a
Yeah.
commercial fishery, making
Right.
billions of dollars? Like it, I don't know.
Probably, I'm gonna just take a stab in the guess, but I would guess the cheapest way to mitigate that would be good policy around riparian zones and replanting trees and
Mhm.
ensuring good tree cover
Yep.
would probably be the cheapest. And I know like the Nashwauk Watershed Association, that's a big part of what they do
Mhm.
is they go in and they get permission from landowners and they have a lot of big projects centered around just that. I haven't seen that as much around here, but that just might be that I'm not seeing it. And that Nashwauk Watershed Association, they're really good about advertising what they do. That might be a fun part of that, but that'd be an interesting thing to consider as well.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean that's more the like the boots on the ground, right?
Yeah.
If you want to help your river, it starts right down at the river's edge.
Yeah.
Where's
I
the
like
river's
that.
edge? Yeah, plant a tree.
You almost have a
The
slogan there.
Almost the
Yeah.
watershed accidentally the Restigouche watershed when I was on the Salmon Council,
Mm.
they had talked about some very cool initiatives,
Hmm.
and they were working with the indigenous communities to locate specific areas on the river that they needed trees planted.
There,
So
that's
within
it.
the indigenous
Exactly.
communities, and what their goal was to do is they wanted to lower the temperature of the river by 1 degree or something like that.
Yep.
But it was a simple, like it was like one of these like 1% change as
Yep.
a is a drastic
Yep.
change because over 10 years that's a 10%
Exactly.
change kind of deal. But it
Yep.
was simple. It was, it was boots on the ground. The
Yep.
change starts at the river's edge. That's a good saying.
I know. I told you're. It's you. There's something good there.
That's good, but I was thinking, I was like, my only advice is basically boots on the ground.
Yeah,
And I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. I'm not calling out anybody on the platform,
that's good.
but I'm not going to support memberships when I can see stuff on Facebook that you're taking a jet across, you're flying helicopters.
Right,
I'm going to
right.
support the people that make the same amount of money I do
Yeah,
and stay in Miramichi their whole life and work
yeah.
on the river down at the river's edge.
Right,
Fuck your
right.
fancy flights.
Yeah, and I mean,
You're not getting my money.
devil's advocate, there's definitely places where it's either helicopter or ATV access only. But barring that, and I don't think that's what you're talking about. I think you're talking about more extensive use. Because the analogy for me, it's like, okay, Leonardo DiCaprio, he's big about climate change, but then everyone's noticing, but that guy's on private jets and yachts and all
What did
that.
he do? What did he do in the same day he accepted a Nobel Prize?
Yeah, he went on some private jet or went to Bezos's wedding or something, and like,
He flew like 11,000 kilometers in one
yeah,
day to go collect a Nobel Prize, just to collect essentially a token, you know
yeah,
what I mean? Like a
yeah,
souvenir
yeah,
for climate change work.
yeah. There's a high degree of hypocrisy there,
Yeah.
so I think
Like
that's
that's where I just
important.
draw the
Yeah,
line and it's
I
like, all right,
agree.
if you're doing that shit, then have fun doing that, but you're not getting
Yeah.
any of my hard-earned money
Right,
anymore.
then you clearly don't need my middle class paycheck to
Yep.
support your project if that's where you're at. I
And
definitely
proof
get
was
that.
always in the pudding. If
Hmm.
these organizations were making a difference that we
Hmm.
could see, you and
Hmm.
I wouldn't be picking on them right now. We would be
That's
like, fuck, I
true.
want to go with them. Fuck, that trip they
Yeah,
did was
yeah,
awesome because look at how many
yeah,
fish we got. Well, guess what?
yeah.
In 40 years, it's gotten worse.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
So
Yeah, yeah. Well, I love that that we went there, and that'll be something to
came back.
ponder since you're in your homework era.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll look up some things like what can it'd be cool to maybe touch on next time. What can you as an individual do, and then also what are some cool kind of macro focused, big picture ideas of what can organizations do. So that'll be maybe something we touch on next week and hopefully, or next month, and hopefully next time we meet for the podcast, we've got big ass smiles on our face because we're finally getting into fish and we've actually got some water.